Welcome, everybody, to the GT4 Endurance Round 6 at Silverstone. We are starting in the wets, so it seems, and we have a lot of drivers on the field, 27 to be exact. This race is going to be a very fantastic race. We have the Area 52 team approaching in the team standings over the NAPS team, the North American Peruvian Sim Racing team. And with no quality bans for either team, it looks like Ellard Mesa is going to be able to pull in a good quality to put himself up there next to Danny Baisden, who is right now uh, sitting at the top of the driver standings. I'm Jason Alvarez, and with me I have M. Morrison. Morrison, what do you think is going to happen during quality?
I think it's going to be wet. Um, I think this race was designed to be wet from the beginning, so I think there's going to be some precipitation in the air. It's going to be wet. It's going to be wild. The Area 52 guys seem to think they're at a disadvantage in the Camaros. I think they're wrong. The NAPS team's obviously going to be quick in the BMWs, so I'm super excited for what's going to happen.
And there you have it, folks. We know what Morris's prediction is, and I kind of counter it a little bit. I think that the BMWs, like a lot of other drivers, were saying that they're going to be fast on those straights. You got the Hanger Straight, you got the Hamilton Straight, and the Wellington Straight. That's the one, two, three of those straights, followed by the final straight. And those BMWs are going to be able to break away. A Camaro doesn't really hold pace down a straightaway on those BMWs, especially with the longevity of those straights. So be really interesting to see what happens as we still have wet conditions, wet rain, and temperature on track is 27 degrees with some winds at 12 kilometers an hour. And if my math is correct, we have Josh Willis, the trendsetter, always trying to get out there first on track. And we're gonna take this over with Morrison, so he can go through and talk you through this.
All right, so he's coming up through the famous named corners Maggots and Beckett's, coming off Beckett's onto Chapel and then onto the Hanger Straight. This is the first long straight that Jay was talking about, where these BMWs can just pull ahead. I think he'll get up to max gear here, maybe. Looks like Josh is going to stay in fifth. Coming up to Stowe, or Stove, as Americans we pronounce the W, so Stowe, sure, Stowe corner. Then on to the left-right chicane, known as Vale. Turn in good, clip a little bit of the corner. Coming right, easy on the throttle because you can get some wheel spin pretty good right here. Then on to Club Corner. On to the, what they call the Grand Prix start and finish line. Coming up into Abbey, which is a quick little right-hander, slight dab on the brakes, use all that curve on the inside. The next corner called Farm. I believe that's because there used to be a farm here back in the long time ago. It's a right-hander. It's a very slow corner. Tight left-hander coming off the corner. Easy on the throttle, not to spin tires. And then you're going to come on to the Village. And then on to the Wellington Straight. This is the other long straightaway where you can just get a tremendous tow and get all kinds of draft that you want. Then coming up into Brooklands, it's a kind of like a double apex left-hander, I would say. The first apex is really wide and the second is tight. Then into Luffield, which is a very, very long right-hander, very late in the throttle, and then power off. And then into Woodcut, which takes you onto a little small right-hander, flat out onto the start and finish straight. And then past start finish straight, first corner, it's called Corpse.
Cops.
It's a Is it, what is it?
It's cops, yeah, cops.
It is cops. It's not corpse, it's cops. I can't read ours. It's cops.
Yeah.
And that's a lap.
There you go. There we have it. And with the outlap finally done, we're going to be seeing some flyers. And we'll still stick on board with Josh Willis, as he is the first driver to go through. We're going to change the perspective a little bit so we can see on board of what is actually happening through the passenger side. And who's another driver on field right now? We have Santiago Orozco in car number 3 of the Tocos Locos team. He is the kind of driver that likes to also just push out at the beginning of quali to get ahead of everybody. He likes clean air, and he likes to, really maximize his potential on his flyer. So it's great to see that driver out on the track with Frederick Goupil right behind him in the Nest Motorsports. Is it Nest Motorsports? No, it's he's on the Beetlejuice team now.
I believe it's a wild card entry for this round.
Yes, it is. As one of the drivers has backed out of the team, and now Frederick Goupil is the driver in the Beetlejuice team. Oh, and it looks like car number 747 was slightly off track there. That's going to invalidate his lap as Jet Engelman. I've always found that left-hander to be really tricky because you could take it wide, but I just never had a great breaking point going into the left-hander and then trying to hug in on that right side, going down this long right-hander into the final straight. It looks like Josh Willis is eating a lot of that apex to get through.
Yeah, that final corner, you charge it really hard, and then you kind of have to just wait for the car to turn and rotate to finally get on the power. And then once you're like almost basically straight is when you apply full throttle, and you just don't lift until the first corner.
And there you have it. Josh Willis has already been dethroned. He went third fastest right now. We have Ed Kerstetter with a 217.5. He is our provisional pole. Danny Baisden, his teammate, comes in at a 217.9, 4/10 off his teammate. It's still really good for both the Area 52 drivers. Then we have Travis Valdez at a 218.7, Andrew Pickrell at a 219, Andreas Masachero, one of the Naps drivers, at a 219.6. And there's Stephen Matone at a 224, Eric Cassians at a 222, Ray Freese 222, Diego Masachero is at a 221, so he's going to need to maximize his potential through this round, through this quali. We have 4 minutes left to go. We have Ali Raza of the TWP Racing. He goes second fastest with a 217.7. Josh Willis has already entered the pit lane. Maybe he's adjusting his setup before he goes back out for another quali lap. And then you have Constable Cody Wassam in P8 with a 220. So a lot of drivers are split in this pack. There's a lot of times that are definitely situational. I think Ellard Mesa is going to be one of our drivers that we should take a look at, as he is going to try to maximize his potential, because he was sitting out both races last week during qualifying, serving a quali ban. But now that he's on track, he's definitely going to get somewhere. Morrison, what were you going to say?
No surprise, David Carter went quickest overall.
Oh, yeah, look at that. We have David Carter of the Area 52 with a 217.3, going faster than his teammate by 0.2. And not another. Beachley was able to set his time at a 221.9. And still no vast improvement here. We still have Mesa at 223 seconds. Ed Kerstetter's going across the line shortly. He's going to improve by 0.7. And there you have it, a 216.8 out of him. And Mesa is still going through the third sector. Oh, we have a car that went out. Andreas Mazzuchetto also going almost a full second faster than his original time. And he is in front of his teammate. And Andreas Mazzuchetto only is able to pull up P10 with that last run, as we have Ellard Mesa about to cross the line. It's definitely going to be interesting to see where he pops at. P6 for Ellard Mesa.
It's a little lower than where I thought he would end up at, but he still has time.
Oh, absolutely. He still has a minute and 30. But yeah, you're definitely right. I thought there was going to be a lot more, I guess, higher strength of matchup from these Naps drivers, as they are sitting at 2, 3, and 4 on the driver's standings. So you have Mesa and both Masacheros throughout the actual championship series here for this 2021 Fall Championship. And I'm trying to get a good look at who is on the board that's going pretty quick. We have Eric Miller here going across the line shortly as he goes down that long right-hander. He is at a 2:14 right now, about to cross the line. Definitely see some good improvement here as he goes 9th fastest. 2:19.6 from Eric Miller from the Flying Lizard Racing. They actually scored some really good points last Thursday for the team, so it's great to see that they're back there on the top 10.
They did. They had some really good runs, and they capitalized on those points and got a good haul of them.
And here we have Josh Willis going through Sector 2. Looks like he's 5/10 off his time. Going quicker. Jason Provolone a little bit further down the road. Oh, no, we have Andreas Masachero going through that final right-hander. That long right-hander. He's going quicker by 6/10. It's going to be enough to put him in P6. Or knock Josh Willis to P8, and he becomes P7. Oh, there you go. Josh Willis is now P8. Andreas Masachero matches his teammate, who's 6th fastest. Then we have Ollie Raza going on board with this driver. He is 2/10 quicker. See that right-hander? He's going to be able to improve. It may be enough. He beats out Danny Baisden, and he is now sitting on P3 as we are ending qualifying. Looks like he's not going to be able to... Is Baisden able to get a final run in? He is. Not sure where he's going to find the time to maximize, but he's a little bit off in the hundredths over his overall. We have Josh Willis crossing the line right now, and he's about to go across, holding out P7, knocking out one of the Masacheros, splitting the Naps drivers on the grid there. Oh, well, I hope you don't see that all the time. And another shakeup is Travis Valdez in the Only Black team is slightly behind Danny Baisden, who's going 3/10 faster. Also, Travis Valdez going 2/10 faster right now, and he needs about a fifth. He needs about half a second to get faster than Danny Baisden. While Danny Baisden's also already about to go 4/10 faster on his best time. So I don't know where it looks like Travis Valdez was able to get it through that corner, and then he just lost all that time. He's definitely struggling through these final 2 corners, whereas Danny Basin's going to be going across the line. He's going to maximize his spot, but I don't believe Travis Valdez will make up points. He goes 3rd fastest. Travis will cross the line. Andrew Pigger will cross the line, and he goes 7th fastest, pushing Josh Willis to P8. And we have Diego Masachero that's sitting at P16. I really did not think that they were all going to be in such a state. The Naps team really is split with this wet weather that we're having here. As we will...
Yeah, they are all over the board. Mesa is top Naps guy in 6th. And then Andreas 9th, and his brother Diego all the way down 16th. That's unexpected from the Naps team.
Oh, highly unexpected. And
you hate to see it.
Yeah, I mean, you really hope that these drivers are going to be able to pull together and get some good grid points for the team. But it looks like the double red stripe Naps are going to be sitting far in the midfield for 2 of the drivers. Even though they're top 10, they have 2 in the top 10. You see these Area 52 Camaros could really make the use of this track, putting all 3 Camaros 3 wide, if they really wanted to make a hard day for everybody. And while there's no team orders, and every driver is going to try to maximize their own potential, you still have a damp track with wet conditions. It's anyone's guess. The track temp is actually 30 degrees, so it's actually really warm. So you have all 3 Area 52 on the starting line, and then you have Ali Raza, and then Travis Valdez in the only black. Then you have Ellard Mesa, Andrew Pickerel with a really good performance going into P7, Josh Wilson P8, Andreas Massachero P9, Jason Provolone of the TWP Racing Traction sitting there at P10, rounding that top 10 off. Eric Miller in P11 with the Flying Laser Motorsports. And then we have Mike Burkhoff, who was able to complete his quali, and he's sitting with the Greendale Community College team. And that's great for their position. We have Frederick Goupil in the Beetlejuice team, followed by Jet Engelman in the Flying Lasers Motorsports, and Ray Frias in P15, Diego Massachero in 16. That's Constable Cody Wasserman in 17. And then we have Beachley in the Junietta in 18, Chronotis for the Totally Jit Racing team in P19, Jose Bravo in 20, Jose Barrera in 21, Santiago Orozco, really putting the Mexicans all together on the lineup. That's really, that's some good space there. I like that.
They planned that out.
They planned that out, yeah. And then there's Erica Cassian of the Beetlejuice team in car number 56. It looks like somebody took his car number. Then we have the Mantone in the Hendrick Motorsports, followed by, who's car 555?
Romulus.
Oh, yeah, Romulus coming in for this race, Flying Lizard Motorsports. And then we have the last driver of Totally Legit Racing Team. I forget who this driver's name is.
That's the main man, Snyder. Jarek Snyder.
Yeah, Jarek Snyder. And then in very last place, possibly going to be driver of the day. I'm going to say it now. It's possible. Riley Manier, who had to serve a qualifying ban for his actions at Donington Park, he is now sitting at the back of the pack, but I believe that driver is going to make up a lot of time. We could see him cutting through this race. But the emphasis is going to be on clean cutting through the race. We saw Ellard Mesa cut through the pack cleanly, even though he was really able to maximize his performance. It was Mike Burkhoff who became driver of the day for his incredible. Oh, no, sorry. That was GT3 Racing that Mike Burkhoff did that. No, I believe Ellard Mesa was driver of the day last Thursday at the GT4 series.
He was for both races because he came from the back to the front with no contact.
Absolutely. And that would be the operative word there, Morrison, no contact. Mike Burkhoff was able to do that in the GT3 standings on Mount Panorama. So it was a great job from him. So we see Ed Kerstetter on the starting lineup with David Carter, his teammate, and then Danny Basin behind him. Where do you think the shakeup's going to be here, Morrison, as we start this race? We have car number 67, Jose Bravo, actually entered the pit lane. Oh, that is...
Looks like, yeah, he did press go in time, and we'll unfortunately have to start this race in the pit lane.
That might be the operative thing to do as far as like starting from the pit lane, because Copps is a fast right-hander. You really want to, maximize your potential through Copps going into Maggots and Beckett's. We could clearly see that there's going to be drivers going to try to pull a two-wide scenario on that, which is going to end up in a Verstappen moment. Hamilton, Verstappen going through Copps. One gets taken out and collected, while the other gets to continue driving. So you hope you don't see it, but if you do see it, we'll be watching. As the GT4 go into a full formation lap before we start this race, and they're only entering Sector 2. Morrison, where
So
do you...
Jay,
Yeah?
do you think? I know you say it every week, and I'm gonna put you on the spot. Do you think Area 52 can get a podium sweep today?
Oh, it would be uh, incredibly impressive if they can. They were split usually by one driver on the last couple of races, so they weren't able to get the all three at the start of a race. But the fact that they have all three drivers starting 1, 2, and 3, that is a massive performance from the Area 52 sim racing team. But not only is that a massive performance, they could technically push away from the field because they're really only going to be battling the top three drivers attached to them. You have Ollie Raza, Travis Valdez, and Ellard Mesa. Their pace is going to be set with the pace of the Camaros. We're going to see that BMW break away through the Aston Martins. Clearly, he's going to be able to do it on those straights. And it's just really, is he going to be able to maneuver around three Camaros? And that's where I think it's going to be hard to say. Barring no incidences, I believe that these three drivers could take home a sweeping finish. And if it is the case, that would be quite the thing to see in the commentating booth when we go and talk to these drivers through that win.
Absolutely. We'll have to wait and see what their pitch strategy is. Our last endurance race at the Hungaroring, we saw Ed Kerstetter come in within the first 10 minutes of the race, and the eventual winner, Danny Baisden, didn't even come in until basically there was 2 laps left. So we'll see how this plays out this week with strategy.
Yeah, and it didn't even cost Danny because he had such a massive lead. He was able to change tires and go back on track with still like a massive gap between the next driver, if I believe correctly. As we're starting this race, we're going to switch to Helo Cam. That way we can see exactly what's happening as we're going across this white line. And that's green, green, green. Now down the cops right here, we have a couple drivers pushing through 2 wide. Everything looks clean. This isn't like Formula 1, so I guess that's going to be able to happen. Still clean. Looks like Ellard Mesa is going to try to have a go through this left-hander. Oh, he backs off. Andrew Pickerel and Josh are having a go. Josh is able to overtake Andrew Pickerel that early in the race. Oh, no! Andrew Pickerel hits Josh wide. He's able... Oh, no! And there's Andres Massachero and Andrew Pickerel also having a go at each other. That is unfortunate, as these drivers are now 3 wide, 2 wide. And a lot of shakeup happened through those the Maggots and Beckett's there. That is unfortunate. You have Eric Miller 2 wide or 3 wide with the Naps team. That is some old school bully tactics. They started on the front row of that first race that they did. But it looks like his teammate Diego is not going to be able to hold up with him. Still pretty clean. And as...
It's like Goupil got turned around backwards in the back.
Oh, yeah, and car number 777 of Ray Frias is also back there with a couple drivers. As suspected, we will pull away from this cam, go on board. Looks like Ollie Raza is still going to try to have a go. Car number 56 of Erica Cassian, yellow flag moment. He is down into...
Yep.
He will shake up.
Wrong way.
Everything's still pretty clean as we have Andres Massachero trying to approach his teammate. Down the inside, he goes for an overtake on his brother. And there you have it. That wasn't as clean as what his brother did through that corner, so maybe he's going to pull this back. He is not.
That's also allowed Jet Engelman to get up there too and battle with him.
Yeah, and we have the real situation is occurring right now as we have all 3 Area 52 drivers battling each other for position. And it looks like Kersetter's able to defend against his own teammates. Jet Engelman's only 1/10 off through Maggots and Beckett's on one of the Massachero brothers. This is still some really close racing.
And we're only 4 minutes into the race.
Absolutely. And talk about an upset. We started with 26 drivers on the, or 27 drivers on the field, and Riley Manier's already P15. There was 2 incidences that allowed for multiple drivers to get through, and several drivers dropped down into the, the backfield there. Oh, wow.
Diego. Ooh, there's some contact there.
He really sent it in on that inside.
Oh, look at Riley Manier. He's going to try and go on the inside, split him 3 wide. Looks like Jarek Snyder's right behind him wanting to get a piece of this action as well. Oh, look at Riley Manier. Oh, he's off the track. Keeps control. Oh, there's contact.
That is one of the
Riley Manier gets by both of them. Oh, but then goes off track.
I think he has to give that position, and they're still bumping.
They're still going at it. So far, Jet's pulled in front of Diego so far, but there's still more corner. Oh, Jet off the track, cutting the corner.
Oh, no.
Way wide.
Car number 5, Mantone, is dropping back in the field there as there's an incident that occurred in the backfield. And it looks like Ed Kersetter sitting in P2 after being passed by his teammate, David Carter. We know David Carter's a fast driver, and Danny Basin has said it himself that he's that they were definitely going to be battling, and there you have it. These drivers are still pushing. Area 52 has only one strong contender right now, and that's Ali Raza, who's sitting in P4, approaching the same lap times as these drivers. And there goes Riley Manier, overtaking Jet Engelman. Now he's going to try to have a go at the Massachero brothers as they are P12 and 13. But his brother's ahead of him by 5 seconds. Now there you have it. They're going down the straight, and this BMW is still able to maintain his position.
That would be the straight line advantage the BMW has over the basically most the entire field.
Oh! Some contact again. And that just looks like there was not enough room as one of the cars went a little wide through that corner.
Ooh, Riley Manier on the inside. More contact.
A little bit more bumping. It's anyone's guess as to what the stewards would think about that in the post race, but
Diego must feel like he has a target on his car because everyone seems to keep hitting him.
yeah, he's definitely been. Hey, Whelp Cakes, welcome to the stream. We just started the hour-long endurance of the GT4 Silverstone. We still got a wet track. It's gonna be light rain, and it's gonna probably stay damp. Okay, here you have Ali Raza is really picking up steam here, as he is 1/10 off right now. Oh wow, look at that. Diego Massachero's having a go at Jet Engelman as well. Oh, no. And you can see in the backfield, that was Santiago Orozco and Snyder that hit each other. It's a little of a bump. Riley Manier still ahead. I'm truly unclear as Jet Engelman. There goes Snyder ahead. Oh!
Oh, yep. Oh, I saw that one coming.
That incident is
You hate to see it.
Yeah, it's just slightly unavoidable. Oh, and there's another tap from Andres Masachero on Andrew Pickerel. And that is the difference of what we're seeing right now with these drivers is that we have Andres Masachero faster than Andrew Pickerel through the straight, but he's unable to maximize it as not only is Andrew Pickerel breaking the slipstream there, but he's also just defending well with Eric Miller still ahead in P9, Mike Burkhoff P8. And it looks like, did you see what happened to Josh Willis there?
I did not catch it.
Ali Raza is holding.
He did come in and take his pit, so he must have had some damage and repaired.
It does look like that. He's now back at the backfield. The several drivers have gone into the pit window. We have Romulus trying to have a go at Jose Barrera, but he's a little bit off. Oh, and there goes Jarek Snyder and the Rich Energy team fighting for P6. Ooh, look at that.
Ooh.
Diego Masachero. You know, it's really hard to say with these wet conditions. Like, people are making different braking markers, or they're braking at different markers than they usually would. So this is, you know, it's not unusual to see a little bit of bumping going through some corners like that, but you hope no one goes off track.
And we're just now 10 minutes into the race, and there's been already a lot of contact, so hopefully it calms down and we can get some good clean racing in.
Yeah, down the inside line, we have Eric Miller going through the final straight, going into Cops. He's able to overtake Mike Burkhoff. That is some precision driving from Eric Miller. That is fantastic. This team has always been doing stuff like this. They've been getting better through the season. They had some bad luck, but there you have it. They are now approaching some really good points. As Andreas Masachero is only 1/10 off, fighting for position. He is right behind Mike Burkhoff. You have Andrew Pickerel behind him. Riley Meneers made it to P12 with an 8-second gap formed. You can clearly see on the...
Jay Andreas is on the grass.
That is...
Trying to make a pass on Mike Burkhoff. He's on the grass. He couldn't get it done. Mike covered it off great.
He really squeezed him out, and that is some fantastic defense from Mike Burkhoff. Let's see what he's going to do on his perspective.
That was close. I thought for sure Andreas was going to go back into the mic. Oh, he almost makes some contact there. These Naps guys, they're living up to their reputation of being aggressive.
You know, there is, you know, it's said in the GT world, but it's also said here, rubbing is racing, but you still got to be in mind that these drivers are passionate and trying to maximize their performance, so there might be a little bit of an issue. As he goes down to the inside line, he's really going to try to have a go. He has enough room. He's given enough room, but that defense is pretty strong. They're too wide through that. We're going to see this Naps try to break away as they're side by side.
That's not going to work.
Oh, he's going to block him out there. That is a defense.
And that gave Pickerel an opportunity. Look at that. Pickerel on the inside of Andreas.
It was very fantastic. They're still only a 10th off right now. Andrew Pickerel sends it on the inside. He's able to get in on the inside line. What a fantastic move. And Andreas is definitely going to have to worry because he's already tapped a driver for braking markers, and you can see that. Oh, Mike Burkhoff goes into the pit lane.
Yep. An early stop.
Big Eye Boy, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. The Area 52 got the triple tag threat at the front end of the order. They are still in the front end. We have Andreas Masachero really pushing against Andrew Pickerel, who made that really fantastic move through right at the end of the Wellington straight into that corner, that left-hander. Now, Morrison, I was saying earlier that while Rubbing is racing, everything comes down to the post stewards. So you don't want to bump a guy and then negatively affect the outcome of the race. So while you might end up bumping each other due to your really trying to maximize your performance, you never want to negatively impact another driver overall race. So while
Yeah, the side-by-side bumping is okay. Door handle's fine. It's the issue with the front contacting to the rear of the car is the big problem, because that could send the car in front off the track and effectively hinder his race. So that's what the stewards look for. So hopefully, looks like that. I mean, there was a bunch of contact there, but nobody really got super sideways and completely spun out. So we'll see how that works out later.
absolutely, and we did miss a major event for one driver, and that's Josh Willis, who's sitting in P20 now, as he has served his penalty, and he's going to try to move through the lineup. We have Riley Manier sitting at P11, who's overtaking Jet Engelman, and he is pushing. He's now only 7 seconds behind Andreas Masachero. He was 8 seconds behind. Oh, no, he's 8 seconds behind still. Driver's 3/10 off now. That might open the gap there, as Andrew Pickerel did go a little wide through that. He's on that inside corner, and almost feels like Andreas box was a little boxed out there. You definitely left the room. Pushing down the inside of Cops. Is he going to be able to overtake him through this? Yes, he is. And he stays strong, maximizing that exit. He's going to push away slightly. Now, Morrison, that's exactly what you like to see coming from one of the Naps drivers.
It is. I do think Pickerel maybe seen him make that move, so Pickerel's like, I'm not going to fight him right now and give him the line. But nevertheless, that was a fantastic move and perfect execution by Andreas.
And switching on board with another driver, Ali Raza, only 3/10 off of Ed Kerstetter, who has dropped to the back of the lineup of these three drivers. We have Area 52, David Carter, Danny Baisden, Ed Kerstetter, all leading this championship race. The Whelpcakes, the big left-hander is Brooklands. The outside of Brooklands is OP if you're side by side, and you just hand the driver around the outside is Luffy. Just hand the driver around the outside of Luffield. No chance. Yeah, I mean, because he was talking about that last one where Pickerel went wide through the left-hander, but then tight end on that right-hander. If Masachero was closer, it would have been better for him in terms of position. Okay, just messing with some camera angles here.
Looks like the closest battle on the field is for second place right now. Or third place.
Definitely third place. So we have David Carter of Area 52 Sim Racing in P1 with a 4-second gap from Danny Baisden. Danny Baisden in P2 with a 1.5-second gap from Ed Kerstetter. So, this might be my wishes coming true, as we have Cornotis in P18 fighting Santiago Orozco, going down that long right-hander into the final straight. It looks like he has some damage on that front end. Wow, he really cut that corner. That might be a track limit violation there. Morrison, what do you think?
I was not looking at him at the time.
Oh.
I was looking down. I was looking further down the field for some more action. I was watching Jorge Barrera. Him and the Tacos Locos cars were going at it pretty hard, but Jorge ducked into the pits there to get his pit stop out of the way.
And Andreas Masachero is too wide with Eric Miller for P7. They're battling strong. Stream sounds awesome this week. Hey, thanks, Whelpcapes. I didn't change anything. I mean, it's typically same setup. Everybody's sounding crisp. Nah, a track cut at Woodcote. It's super liberal on track limits. Oh, okay. So they already know that that's definitely okay for this driver or for Chronotis to go across that. As far as the crispness of the stream, this is just the natural order. Now, Morrison, what do you think is going to happen here with this position? Is Andreas going to be able to maximize his performance through the next straight? Because he is only 4/10 off of Eric Miller, and Eric Miller's only 4/10 off of Jason Provolone. We could see a three-man battle occurring very shortly.
Very shortly. Andreas couldn't get the toe that he wanted down that straightaway, so he didn't. He closed in on Miller, but didn't get enough to make a pass.
Whoa!
Oh no! Who was that?
That was Jason Provolone, and he goes sending it to the left side. Was that an incident?
No, I think he just lost it. He had too much wheel in it, and maybe because of the slick conditions, he just lost the rear end. That's what it looked like to me.
Absolutely. It must have been that. There's nothing on to show that there was contact through the incidents report. That's Andreas now 1/10 off of that Eric Miller there. But Jason Provolone able to restabilize himself. He's still holding P8, so that is a fantastic drive from him.
Yeah, good recovery too.
And Riley Manier has entered the pit lane. Andreas Montestero still having a go at him. Let's see if we can't get on board. Here we go down the straight.
Hopefully Miller can use this lap car ahead of him as a pick. Oh,
that is Eric Cassian allowing these that blue flag to be in place. Oh, look at that on the.
Wow.
There you have it, Andreas. Yeah, he really showing himself to be capable. There was some damage from all the drivers at the start of this race, but I don't believe we're going to see some strong penalties awarded to Andreas. As Riley Manier picks back up in P17, dropping down the leaderboard, he still might be driver of the day. And there goes Andrew Pickerel, closing the gap from Jason Provolone. As he said, the big cheese. He's going to try to slice through that Provolone with some really strong.
Oh, look at that overtake. That was just a power move right there.
Can't mess with the Audi. It's one of the few ones on the track, so it's showing itself to be a little bit more versatile in this these track conditions.
Well, it seems like things have started to settle down just a little bit. It seems like everyone's getting in their rhythm.
Absolutely, and it looks like Josh Willis is holding P17 as Riley Manier is P20. A lot of these drivers have not gone into the pits, or the pit lane, to serve their mandatory pit. There is no pit requirements that need to be followed as long as the car is lifted up off the ground and back on. You can start your car and get going. Don't need to change tires or add fuel. And it looks like while Josh had some issues, that pitting early was the main strategy for him, as he's going to probably be able to get some really strong pace from these drivers ahead of him. And it's 1 through 17 have not gone into the pit.
Yeah, and Josh is the first driver who is out on track that has pitted so far. So he's kind of your benchmark, the one to watch. I'm sure he, during his pit stop that he took earlier to repair damage, he took on enough fuel to go to the end. So we'll see how that turns out.
And that is Snyder side by side with Romulus going through that right-hander, as he's going to overtake him, possibly maintain that overtake, with Jose Bravo trying to have a go at them as well. And through that's a clean exit, as Jarek Snyder is now P12. And I believe he is the... Oh, Andrew Pickrell is just ahead of him on his team at P8.
I'm really excited to see the Audis up there, the Total Legit Racing team. They struggled at the beginning of the year, but it seems like they've hit a pretty good pace right now, and all of them are right up there.
Oh, absolutely. And we have Jason Provolone in P9. Was overtaken by Andrew Pickrell in that last lap. And it's actually pretty exciting because he's still going to be able to get some good pace. He just needs to find a rhythm with that car. We still got 36 minutes to go. I don't believe Jason Provolone's calling it quits on his race just yet.
No, Provolone, I like Provolone a lot. He is very quiet, let's say the least. During our preseason races, he didn't talk much, and we didn't even know he was there sometimes. All of a sudden, he'd be in the top 3. So Provolone is a quiet guy, but he will sneak up on you like a samurai.
Very true. As Jose Bravo goes over that apex. He's getting closer, though. He's only 0.2 off of Romulus. As they're going too wide through that, Bravo takes that apex, and that might be the reason why he's going to be able to pull. No, he's still not there yet, but that BMW is fast to a straightaway.
Maybe look for him to take a dive on the inside. Oh no, he just follows him in the corner. Probably a good idea. Oh, Romulus goes wide. Bravo just jumping around over the curbs. It's not going to be good for the car because it's going to slow you down.
And going on board with Jose Bravo of the Tocos Locos team, he is still going to try to maximize his potential through these corners. Hopefully he can make something happen through the... Oh, is this the... the Hamilton straight. Aptly named after the man himself. Yeah, it looks like that whole pit early strategy really changed up the dynamics of the race here. And we have Jose Barrera and Friedrich Goupil both in the pit lane right now. Oh, and something must have happened with Travis Valdez. He might have just gone in the pit lane to start early on that, but he is still a full minute behind the race leader. So even it's hard to say. Morrison, it takes about what?
Yeah, he came in about a couple laps after Josh did, so he was a fairly early pitter.
Oh, okay. Well, he's about to overtake Santiago Roscoe on the outside here, and we'll be definitely seeing in the rear view mirror. Maybe no, they were too wide going through cops.
Oh no, Goupil got a 30-second stop and go.
That is unfortunate for Frederick Goupil. And you hate to see it. Santiago Roscoe, he has yet to serve his mandatory pit. He's just been overtaken by Travis Valdez, as he might have missed his braking mark, but definitely went through that corner and off of the track. Travis Valdez, who was P5 at the start of this race, is now P18, with Josh Willis, one of the only other drivers ahead of him that has also gone into the pit window. Looks like, Ali Raza at P4 is only 0.4 off the driver ahead of him.
I believe that's going to be the closest battle on track right now.
And
It's
kind
been
of.
spread out a bit.
Yeah, well, when everyone starts to pit early and some accidents occur where people want to repair, it really changes up the dynamics of the race, especially with the pace of some of the cars. We definitely saw early on there was a good chunk of the drivers in the top, I'd say 8, that were way ahead, and there was a huge gap that formed with the drivers in the midfield as well as the backfield. And now we're just seeing scattered pace of all these drivers. As you know, Ali Raza was 5/10 faster than Ed Kersetter in that last lap. He's definitely making up the pace to attack these drivers. And even Ed Kersetter's only half a second off of his teammate, Danny Baisden. And that was the thing, is these Camaros, they wanted rain. They got rain. It looks like in 10 minutes we're going to get some light rain again. Track is still greasy.
Unconfirmed, but I do believe Danny Baisden bribed the stewards for a rain track this week, but that's unconfirmed.
Let's definitely on the unconfirmed rumors. Bet Netflix would have a go at that one, though. So we have Josh Wilson, P16, having a go at Coronidis, who has a lot of damage. You could see it on that back end. I'd be worried if I was a driver approaching this, because, you know, while Rubbin is racing, you don't want to... Oh, look at him flashing his lights. You could see that back end lighting up. Let him by is what he's trying to go for. On the outside, he's trying to make a go for it. They're side by side right now. And there you have it. There's Chronotis in the rear view as Josh Willis overtakes him. Now, Morrison, for driver of the day, we have several in contention. There's Josh, Travis, I would say Mike Burkhoff, Riley Minier are all drivers that are in the backfield or the midfield right now that definitely started strong. Were in the top 10, but now they're trying to push their way back through it. Riley Minier being the only driver amongst them that started in the back of the field.
Yeah, those are all very good cases. I would also throw in there a surprise, but Ali Raza for driver of the day. He's putting it to it, these Camaros right now, and we haven't seen that all year. Only competitors we've seen challenge the Area 52 cars have been the Naps BMW. So for Ali Raza to be up here and the TWP Aston Martin to be just right on the back of these two Area 52 Camaros is impressive.
That is mighty impressive. And anybody that's watching now, if you want to give your suggestion for driver of the day, we still got 29 minutes, so it's anyone's guess. We'll definitely try to make the announcement of who we think should be the driver of the day at the 5-minute mark. I think that's where we'll really see the difference. Because we have Jason Provolone on the right behind Andrew Pickrell. It looked like he was able to make back his pace, and now he's cleanly through that corner. Definitely maximized it over Andrew Pickrell there. But it's not going to be enough, as Pickrell knows where to put his car and knows how to defend. The only thing Jason can really do at this moment is to just keep trying to maintain a clean and sturdy race, because he definitely had some issues going through one of those corners earlier. He's just going to have to wait for Pickrell to make a mistake.
Keyword being mistake, and Pickrell does not make mistakes often.
And there you have it. Travis Valdez on Chronotis, another driver who has not gone into pit lane, just overtaken cleanly through that left-hander. And that is, wow, that is a strong push. Travis Valdez is pushing against Jose Bravo there, but Chronotis is dying quickly. He's already lost several seconds to him. And that has got to be slightly exciting for both drivers, not only Travis, but Josh. They are two drivers that are in the midfield that are pushing through this entire pack. And there's down the straight, the BMW's technically faster, and Bravo is sitting right behind Travis Valdez through that straightaway into the left-hander. So he eats up a lot of that apex. It's definitely going to slow him down. And then Josh Willis just ahead of him in P14.
And Josh is still your effective leader for pit stop wise goes. He's still the first guy on track that's actually taken a pit stop.
Yes, and he is still a minute and 7 seconds behind the race lead. So while he has gone in the pit lane,
yeah,
Morrison, you would know, like, it takes like what, 28 seconds to get back on track?
I probably should have tested this and asked somebody before we got this far into it, but I think it's about 20 seconds from pit in to pit out, including the pit stop.
And that is on the basis that you're only going to stop your engine, lift up, drop back down, and continue. It looks like Josh is having a real strong move against him as he gives Romulus enough room, but through that chicane, he's able to make it happen. And Josh Willis in P13 pushing now for Snyder, who's just ahead of him. And that is also Cornotis and Bravo are side by side. It was a kind of a weird move, but Bravo looked like he had kind of moved over on his wheel a little bit. And it looks like he's kind of slowing down in comparison to Cornotis. He's catching back up with him, but through that straightaway, it looked like he wasn't maintaining a clean straight.
This track is one thing. This is a high-speed track, so if you're coming onto a high-speed straight and you have a bad corner, it takes forever to get your speed back up.
And there's Travis Valdez also making the same move that Josh Willis just did on Romulus of the Flying Lizard Motorsports. Oh, and that's unfortunate. Romulus misses his braking point. As he slides off track, Travis Valdez just capitalizes through cops. And now it's going to be pushing Josh Willis through Maggots and Beckett's, eating up those apexes.
That's the beauty of the GT4 cars. They can eat curb and keep going.
Now, do you remember exactly where Josh started on the lineup? I believe he was in the top 10, P8 or 9, if I'm not mistaken. So him being one of the race lead for having gone into the pit lane to serve his mandatory pit, he's not the effective leader because some of those drivers are vastly further than him along the track.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Interesting where he comes at the end of this. Like I said, with
that is a quick overtake.
Carter being so far ahead, he's obviously whenever Carter decides to pit, Josh won't take the lead because Carter's got such a huge lead. I hope maybe Josh can come out top 5. Hopefully, it's a rough guess. See how everything plays out because there's still 23 minutes left in this race. But if Josh keeps doing what he's doing, hitting his marks, he should be up there, no problem.
Just playing around a little bit. There we have it. You see that right there? Travis Valdez on the inside overtakes Snyder for P13. On the back end of Josh Willis. Josh Willis and Travis Aldead were teammates once upon a time, so it'll be interesting to see what room they give each other in terms of competition, as they are some of the closest drivers on track right now. And I don't know exactly what would have caused Snyder to flash his lights at Valdez, but maybe he was just not happy with that overtake occurred. There was no contact from the visuals that we got here, as the car number 555 of Romulus is the only other driver to have an incident recently, and that was just an off-track incident.
The big cheese, Jason Provolone, still all over the back of Andrew Pickrell, but just can't seem to get away by him.
You see that? That was it's something a lot of these drivers are having to deal with, is these braking moments that just not sure what's happening there. Ooh. Almost a little bit of oversteer there. Just a little bit. He was able to maintain his racecraft there. And
He had to chase it, that's for sure.
And that is Diego Masachero, who has maximized his potential and is actually going a full second faster than both drivers ahead of him. Oh, and Riley Manier is going to have a go at Santiago Orozco down the Hamilton straight.
Oh, Ed Crusader came into the pits, around the pit lane.
And there goes Riley Manier overtaking Santiago Orozco for P17. I think he's... Oh, no, there's some... Oh, Orozco gives him the position back. He knows that there was a mistake that occurred. And there goes Riley Manier flying away, with Provolone still attacking Andrew Pickrell there. And do you see that, Morrison? It looks like, oh, Josh Willis gone wide through that corner. Now they were going side by side, with Travis Valdez able to overtake him before Maggots. And through Beckett's, they stay clean. And it looks... Ooh. And there's Diego Masachero side by side with Jason Provolone. Ah, that's unfortunate, because Provolone was attacking Andrew Pickrell really aggressively, but now Pickrell's able to pull away slightly as both these drivers are going side by side through the Hamilton straight. And there's Diego Masachero taking P8.
Jason Provolone not giving up, goes back to the inside. Gets the spot back. Let's see if Diego sends it up on the inside here. Nope, does not. Oh, but Jason gives him room. Looks like...
And straight through the Wellington straight, that BMW is just going to be able to pull away. Yep. And there goes...
That was a valiant effort, though, by Provolone to see if he can try and get back by him. It almost worked, too.
And let it be said, that we have Allard Mesa holding P4, Andreas Masachero P5. They are the NAPS team that are in contention with the Area 52 for the team championship there, as well as the drivers championship. So they have pulled off some really good pace, and they're sticking together as Diego Masachero makes his way through the pack. He's not as fast as his teammates, though, as they were doing 2:18s, and he's doing a 2:22. But he has a 24-second gap to the race leader, so I don't know if Allard Mesa is going to be able to pick up pace, especially with 17 minutes to go. Josh Willis and Travis are really going at it here. Oh, he overtakes him.
Wow.
That is,
goes up on Jet real quick here.
yeah, and you don't want to see anything bad happen because Jet's been prone to having some racing incidences that occurred on him being on the bad side of it. So you hope that this is a clean move, if there is one. And there you have it. He's sending it into the inside. He's already overtaken Jet Engelman, but Travis Valdez is flashing his lights. He wants to have a go at him as well. But through this left-hander, he's not able to stay on that defensive end.
That was tight.
Yeah, it was very tight. But he maintains that right-hander for the apex, and he's going to pull ahead, giving room for Travis Valdez to have to do the same thing. Those two are battling pretty consistently throughout this race, and it is going to remain that way, I think, unless a racing incidents occur. Ooh, gosh, that's so close. I think I'm going to actually pop over to Josh here and do an onboard. Oh, there we have it.
Yep. You got by him finally.
Right through the Wellington straight. Oh, no. Ollie Raza has a drive-through penalty as he exited the pit window. He is going to have to serve that within 3 laps. Oh, that is unfortunate.
That is interesting that it's not a stop and go, so that's not a speeding in the pit lane penalty. That's probably a track limits penalty.
When we have P10, Jason Provolone has gone into the pit lane, so we're going to see another shakeup here from the driver lineup. And through that, we have Josh Willis, now P10, because he passes Jason Provolone, who went into the pit window, in the lane. He is now right behind Ed Kerstetter, who is... not sure yet. Nothing seems to be updating. Oh, there it goes. He is 11 seconds behind Ed Kerstetter. 12 seconds behind P9. But Morrison, I think that really goes to show where we're really at in this this stiff competition. Ed Kerstetter, who was P3, is now P9, and he's 57 seconds behind the race leader. It takes about 30 seconds in total to get through that pit lane. From what we're seeing when some of these drivers are going through it. It was
so that was the question that we had, whether or not if...
Oh, here we go. Ollie Raza's back into the pit lane.
Oh, yep, serving his drive-through, no doubt. You hate to see that, too, because this is 2 times in a row now during the endurance events where Raza's had really good races, and it's been uncoiled by a drive-through.
Absolutely. It's one of the most frustrating things that could happen to a driver, especially when car number 18 is P23, so he's only down by P8 right now on the back end of Diego Masachero, though. There, that is not a bad spot for a drive-through, only having to drop 3 positions overall. It's definitely going to be frustrating for that driver. And we have Jason Provolone, who served his pit. It's behind his pit requirement. He's behind Cornotis, but he's going to easily get ahead to P12 when these drivers all go into the pit lane.
Something interesting there I just saw. Even with that drive-through, Alvarez still came out ahead of Kerstetter.
Oh, that is actually kind of surprising.
That drive-through really hurt Rosler because he would have been miles ahead of these guys.
Yeah, but that driver would be. Ed Kerstetter was P3, so what happened to make his pit stop drop him so far into the pack? And there goes Jason Provolone passing Chronotis before this the straightaway here, the hanger straight. And while we have a chance, let's take a look at some of these beautiful liveries here on the track. With 12 minutes to go, it's really hard to determine who the driver of the day is so far. Ooh. We have Riley Manier, who is teammates with Chronotis in the GT3 League. That is Team Adidas Parlay. So I wonder where he's going to find himself in terms of the sportsmanship with his own teammate in a different league. Is he going to try to pass? What's that?
It's not going to be the same. That's for sure.
It's definitely not. He's 3/10 off of him, as Chronotis is 3/10 off of Provolone. Riley has made an impressive go. He did get to P15 at the start of the race, but has lost some positions, but has served his mandatory pit. He will definitely get ahead of Chronotis, Romulus, and Snyder for sure. Maybe even, actually, probably even Jet. We're going to see Riley really push ahead. This track, while the conditions have changed, not much has happened. Oh, wow, look at that.
It looks like it's going to continue to rain even more throughout the end of the race. So
yeah, that light drizzle, which keeps the track damp, and he overtakes Chronotis. Oh, and he goes into the pit lane? What?
Why is he in the pits?
Okay.
Very interesting call there.
And
that
then it's
ends his race because he's already taken his pit stop. This is the second pit stop. I wonder if maybe something.
Oof, yeah.
I don't know. That's interesting.
Maybe he tried a play at dry tires? Who knows? I mean,
it's going to rain more, so dry tires would not work.
Yeah, it's strange to see that he did that. Ooh, and look at that. We have Travis Valdez faster through that corner. Gets Josh Willis for P10. Ollie Raza, Ed Kerstetter. Oh, that was a tap from Ed Kerstetter. Ollie Raza. Oh! What is happening there? That is not a back marker.
No, that is poor position. That is unfortunate for Raza. He's lost out big time right there.
And it's Ed going up faster than him, but Diego Masachero still has to go into take his mandatory pit. And Danny Basden has gone into the pit lane as well. Ollie Raza overtaking Diego Masachero for position, but not much for position because he still has to serve his mandatory. Danny Basden is sitting there in P4 right now. P5. Car number 53 is Ed Kerstetter, his teammate. He's actually going to be faster than him. He's getting onto the track right now. Is he going to be able to hold it? It looks like it. Now, where does that shake up? Did these drivers actually change tires? Because we have the race lead just barely, P2 was just barely ahead. And now everybody's lining up close. Morrison, do you have any thoughts there? We have like drivers really.
Typically, when you change tires, it's another 30 seconds on top of the already driving through the pit lane. So you're looking at almost a minute-ish, pit stop.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have Snyder that's in the pit lane as well. And thing that doesn't make much sense is why the Naps team have not gone into the pits. Sorry, in the pit lane to serve the mandatory pit. We have David Carter, David Carter is in P2 and he's only 6 seconds behind. This overcut by Ellard Mesa is not going to serve him well because even if he goes into the pit just to serve the mandatory lift up and down, he's going to drop to P5, if not P6.
And the same thing with Andreas Mascheto as well, also not taking a pit, and then Miller as well, not taking a pit either.
And Diego and Jet and with 7 minutes to go, it's really tough to say what's happening here with these drivers. What are they hoping to accomplish by not just going in with the other drivers? Because we have Mike Burkhoff going to have a go at Chronotis for position P15. Yeah, it's mighty strange. I hope their overcut plays out, but it doesn't look like it's going to just based on the lap times.
Yeah, I'm hard to see where that's going to play out for the Naps team because you can actually, I'm watching Ellard Mesa right now, you can see David Carter in the background. So there's no way Mesa can take a pit stop and come out in front. There's no way.
And there you have it. Through the straight, these drivers are side by side. Chronotis has still not served his mandatory pit with 6 minutes left to go. He's dropped down the field already. He should have just gone in at that last lap, but he still stays out. And he's overtaken by Mike Burkhoff for P15. And Danny Baisden behind Eric Miller now. Andreas Maschero's 14 seconds ahead of him. It's not going to serve any of these drivers anything.
Well, Diego Mascheto finally blinked and came into the pit, so he's got some. I don't think he's got new tires, but he's got his pit stop taken care of. He's falling down the order right now.
He is P16 based on that one move, and that is truly unfortunate for the. It says he's P10, but I think he's P16. Yep, there he goes. And there is a driver going into the pit lane as well.
There's less than 5 minutes to go. So who's the driver of the day, Jay? Who's the driver?
If anyone has any thoughts in the stream, let us know. The chat, if you have our options here, we have Travis Odez started at P5 and he's dropped back the pack to P8, but he's also was at the bottom of the field and the P20, and he was in the 20s because of some racing incident. Same with Josh Willis, who was also started P8 or P9, and was able to fight back to his position at the end of this race. We have Riley Minier, who started at the back of the pack, was only able to maximize to P20 at this moment in time.
P15 at one point. But
yeah, was a P15 within a couple first laps. You thought there's going to be more potential for him to get somewhere. Ed Kerstetter on the battle for P5 overtakes Eric Miller there.
And while you were talking about driver of the day, Andreas Mascheto came into the pits and got his pit stop taken care of.
And that is going to drop him back quite a bit.
Curious strategy by the Naps team. I don't know what that did not work out for them.
Yeah, at another track, the rain really affected their momentum and their strategy, and it definitely didn't pay off that race, and it didn't pay off this race. And we have Mascheto coming out at P8 with Josh Willis just shortly behind him. Travis Valdez at P7.
What's even worse for the Naps team is they're throwing away points.
Yeah, and there you go. There's Josh Willis maximizing his spot. He is now P8, right where he started. Reimers also in the pit lane. Ellard Mesa with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go. What is he thinking? He's got to go into the pit before the final lap. There's even if he doesn't serve his mandatory pit, he is disqualified from the race, I believe.
Yep. Oh, here he comes.
And there he
Okay,
goes.
so your leader's in the pits. Let's see how much that hurts him, because I know he's not going to be the leader coming out.
And there is Helo Cam's going to continue to go by. That's car number 42 of David Carter going down the main straight, the final straight there, and he is passed. And he doesn't have to do anything. He just has to get going. Oh, it looks like he's trying. He's back up.
There you go.
There's one of the, I think that's Ed Kerstetter, also one of the, he is P4 right now. So whoever that driver was that passed him, that's Ali Raza now. That's P5 for him. And I believe that's the last driver. Car number 77 is Travis Valdez in P6. He drops back down.
And it looks like Miller also came in the pits right there too, and he's going to drop down even further as well.
Well, you know.
Interesting call. Interesting.
We have Jarek Snyder fighting for position against Jet Engelman, who came out, who went in for the late pit. And it didn't serve any of these drivers to go in late, as they are definitely dropping down the field to the original positions.
Interesting.
Yeah, we have no action. Yeah, we have no action in the chat to give us suggestions on who should be the overall here on driver of the day.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Ali Raza. I know he didn't come from the back to the front, but he was able to challenge the 852 Camaros there for a good portion of the race. Unfortunately, had that drive-through, which took him out of contention for the win.
Yeah,
But
if you
for
really,
me, that's my driver for the day right there.
Yeah, if you really think about it, Ali Raza is only 16 seconds behind the race lead, and he had to serve a drive-through penalty, which cost him approximately 15 to 20 seconds, because you're just going through the pit window or the pit lane, but it's still like a good 10 to 20 seconds difference, which would have made all the difference of him being.
And Jay, here comes the leader to finish the race.
Okay, we have David Carter crossing the line here, and he has finished the race. That is P1 for him. That is Danny Basin at P2, and that is Ed Kerstetter crossing the line for P3. We have a full team. Area 52. 1, 2, 3. That is the first time in this history of this series, as well as this community, that we have a team that has finished at the 1, 2, and 3 spot, with Ali Raza crossing at P4, Ellard Mesa in P5, Travis Valdez crossing line at P6, and Josh Willis at P7. Masachero is going to be crossing the line at P8. Miller is going to be crossing the line at P9 with no contention from Andrew Pickrell, who's also going to be taking P10. Still, drivers not in yet, but driver of the day, Ellard Mesa, for his strong performance. With, unfortunately, Ali Raza had a drive-through penalty, which took him out of contention. But he would have split those drivers. I'm
positive he would have. He was quick.
Yeah. What's 52 times 3? I'm not a math expert, but I believe that equals a victory. Definitely there. So, Jason Provolone, P11, Mike Burkhoff, P12, Diego Masachero, P13, Jet Engelman, P14. We have Jarek Snyder going to be taking P15, and then Ray Frias is definitely going to be taking P16, Chronotis 17, Riley Minier is going to be 18, and then Jose Bravo 19. Constable Cody Wassam 20, Orozco 21, um, Barrera 22, Mantone 23, Beachley 24, and Frederick Goupil 25. Now, we should definitely get these drivers in for a um, for our post race. We have the race winner, David Carter, Danny Baisden, Ed Kerstetter. First of all, before we get started, what a fantastic race. You guys qualified very strong. I know you guys had some reservations about the Camaro here at Silverstone, and you were definitely praying for rain. But to take home the very first 1, 2, 3, never done before, a team effort, Area 52, the full slots, all on the podium, that's exciting. What are you guys'
Oh,
feelings
yeah.
on this?
Yeah,
I'll
that was
let,
a lot of fun.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead,
Go
Ed.
ahead. No, you won. Go ahead.
No, you first. No.
After you.
We're all so
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, that was a really good time. I think all three of us used different strategies, and I think one extra lap there at the end, and I would have been dead in the water. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Definitely a head scratcher on strategy, and nobody really knew what to do the whole time. But it worked out well for all three of us.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were battling each other at the start of the race, and that was really fantastic to watch, to see where you guys were trying to maximize your potential there. And it looked like Ed Kerstetter was going to be able to defend against it. Ed, what happened there?
Well, I figured I was a little bit faster than Danny there before I pit, but I there was no way I was getting around him. So I figured I saw the rain on the radar, and I figured we'd have to go to wets. And I wanted to be the first one to go to wets to maybe try to jump him, and I was about, I don't know, 4 laps too early, and I kind of burned him off.
Oh,
So yeah, but it was good. I had to do something different, or else I would have finished third anyway. So
yeah, so you guys did not. So that my understanding is you guys didn't start the race in wet tires.
we
Yeah,
started
everybody started on dries.
dries. Yep.
Yeah, all of us started on dries, and we all had different strategies. Like Ed said, he pitted early. I pitted a couple laps after David did, in hopes to kind of overcut him a little bit and get wets when they were really going to matter. So I ended up taking wets in the pits, and so I was really hard charging to try and get David, but he didn't put a foot out of line. This is definitely his race.
Wow, that's actually kind of fantastic to hear, because we were kind of scratching our heads. Ali Raza was we dubbed him driver of the day for his fantastic race to be able to maintain pace with not only one alien but 3 aliens, and he had to serve a drive-through penalty, but that penalty would have without that penalty, it would have put him in P1 based on time alone.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's-
Yeah.
Yeah,
At the
I
end
was-
there, I decided not to. I made probably the bad decision not to take tires. So I came out on the same dry tires for that last sort of pretty wet 10 minutes. And so, yeah, I lost a total of about 20 seconds in the last 10 minutes to the other 2 Camaros. So, yeah, if the Aston had been right there, yeah, it very well might have been his. But I think he was having a tough time getting around Ed as well.
Oh, absolutely. He was definitely on pace for it. David, is there anything that you would do differently now that you've finished this race in P1?
Well, I mean, now that I've finished it in P1, I wouldn't do anything differently. But if there had been one more lap, yes, I definitely should have taken tires. But then I definitely would have had a fight on my hands with Danny to the end of the race. So either way, it would have been an exciting finish.
Yeah, I mean, only having to fight your teammate doesn't sound like a bad deal there. Morrison, do you have anything to add for David, a race winner?
Well, it's interesting. I didn't think you guys started on dry tires, so that's very interesting that you guys were all the way up there. Were battling as good as you guys were on dry tires. I thought for sure that was a wet track the entire time, and that actually clears up what I was thinking, because towards the end of the race, you guys had that. Well, most of the race, you guys had a huge lead over the rest of the pack, and then during the pit stops, it all closed in. I was like, "What's going on? I have no idea." So, the fact that some of you guys took tires makes way more sense to me than what I was trying to think about in my head of like, why are they losing time? It doesn't make any sense to me. So great job to all three of you guys. Honestly, I mean that's the first time in this league's history that a team has swept all three places. So good job to all you guys,
Yeah.
and maybe have someone else have some fun next week.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
I mean, I think you guys are going to be strong at the next track, so definitely will be pretty interesting to see if the Naps can pull off the same of what you guys did with a 1-2-3 finish. But I think they have their work cut out for them. Ed, also fantastic race. Danny Bazin, is there? Why? What was the strategy there? I know you guys are just racing for your own race, but to not even like coordinate as a team, it just seems a little out of balance with what the other teams are doing.
Oh, trust me, we were. Going down the straights, I was giving Carter wet tire PSIs. So we were definitely helping each other out, but at the same time, we all were racing our own races, and we each had to do something different in order to see what was going to play out. Like Ed said, he went in early. He took a gamble, and we were at the point where we kind of had free pit stops anyway because we had a decent gap, and
Yeah.
so we
A
all
very
had the
lengthy gap,
opportunity to, yeah. And so when I went into the pit, I was doing at least 5 to 6 seconds a lap quicker than Carter was, but he's right. If he had one more lap, he probably would have been really mad at me. And then if I had one more lap, it would have been a much different race. But no, it was a blast, and races like this are just they play with your head, and it turns it into a puzzle. It's a lot of fun. Um, thanks for hosting. It was a blast.
Yeah. Thanks for driving for the Trackless Sim Racing. Really appreciate Carter, Bays, and Kersetter. Thanks for joining us. You guys can pop off now. It was a fantastic race, and I hope you guys celebrate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And Morrison, going back into it, we have Ali Raza with us, the driver of the day. We had a lot of people in contention for this, but at the end of it, it really came down. Morrison made some compelling arguments. Ali Raza, what a fantastic race. It's unfortunate what happened with your drive-through, but talk us through your tire strategy. Did you not take tires?
Yeah, well, I looked at it. It was kind of light rain, so I knew dry would be better because I was practicing earlier. So it went well. I used like the normal dry setup, but I just bumped up the PSI and it worked well. It's just at the end of the race, I saw it got more rain. So I was thinking, it's only 10 minutes left. Maybe I should just not change tires. But then when I went to the pits, I accidentally pressed the pit stop button twice. So
Oh,
I went up like 50 kilometers an hour, and then I was hoping I didn't get a penalty, but then I did. And then I think that's what kind of put me down. It
Yeah.
would have been better, yeah.
I mean, so you didn't actually end up changing tires. So your strategy would have worked had that drive-through penalty not been served, because your pace was actually it would have been 20 seconds faster, or you would have been at 20 seconds being P4. You would have pushed all three drivers down the lineup because they opted to take the tires because they thought they had a comfortable gap. But your strategy was sound, and your pace was seriously strong with these drivers that have been showing some really alien times. It's really impressive to see. I knew you would be a top 10 driver for sure. You're a fast-paced driver, but like to take all three of those Area 52 drivers on and still maintain close pace, and you're I guess the real question is where was the gap there for Ed Kersetter, as you were really pushing him hard. You were 3/10 off of him for most of that race.
Yeah, he was defending really well. I was wondering if they were just slowing down for me just to get the first guy some gap, but no, he's just defending really well. I had a run on him for one of them. We were side by side, but then he still kind of got me. But
Well,
yeah, it was just a really intense race.
yeah, and those drivers definitely drive for themselves, so there was no team orders to slow anyone down. But I mean, what a fantastic race! Driver of the day. Celebrate that at least for P4. Morrison, do you have anything to add for Raza?
tough luck. For real. Funny, Jay's talking about you would have won, and you would have, but that doesn't make you feel any better. But um, it seems like the last endurance race we had at the Hungaroring, you were also very up there as well, and also unfortunately got another penalty there. So uh, luckily that was just a drive-through and not a stop and go 30 seconds. That's the only good part you can take away from it. But great race altogether. It's like Jay said, it's one thing to race with the Area 52 guys. It's a whole nother level to put pressure on them to make them defend. So that's why I made you driver of the day because that's not easy. I've never driven against the Area 52 guys, but they're not easy to beat. And for you to challenge them to put Ed in a position of where he had to defend, that is impressive on its own. So good job to you. Hopefully next week you have some better luck, and I'm pretty positive you can win one of these races by the end of the year.
Thanks for that. I hope I can, but I don't know. Honestly, I was just surprised I could keep up with them. I know yesterday I was practicing, so I was like, oh, this race I'll try to practice more. Usually I just jump into races. I think preparing for the race really helped, I guess. So yeah.
Practice
Oh,
is key. Practice is key.
yep, definitely.
Well,
Thanks for the race. Yeah.
yeah, thanks, Alvarez, for joining us, and appreciate your time. From everybody watching us right now, that is the Trackless Sim Racing GT4 Round 6 event, and we are going to be going into the Porsche Cup on Saturday as well as the GT3 on Sunday. Actually, I believe we're going a week off for this next week, and then we'll be coming back the next week. So you can just follow our schedule and just stay tuned. We'll definitely be live soon. So thanks for everybody joining us as we're about to just go ahead and raid another channel. If you want to keep joining us with that, see ya.